Hello and welcome, my Libra collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your What Do I Need read for this full moon to new moon next, November into December 2020. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, professional, professional, intuitive president of DrawingTheCircle Productions, the Archangel of Lions, Mark Angelo Lyons, Venus and Libra sign. But you can call me Mal. Hi, guys. Hi, my Leaves. Hi, Mari, if you're watching. Love you, sweetheart. Miss you. Oh, my Libras, my Libras, my Libras. What an interesting year it has been. Certainly 2020, but particularly in relationships, 7th house stuff. Ain't it just, right? A lot of healing, a lot of transformation, a lot of alchemy in inner and outer within the world. So I hope you are all doing well. My subscribers in particular, thank you so very much for returning back to the channel. I had a lovely Thanksgiving. I drove into Brooklyn, picked up my friend Mark. Yes, it was a Mark, couple of days. It was a Mark Thanksgiving. Twice Tony Award nominated set designer Mark Wendland, because he wants me to say that, so I do. You know, you gotta help a friend, plug a friend where you can. It's okay. He calls me his witch friend out on Long Island, and he's great. And if you are new to my channel, please do consider hitting the like button if this resonates for you. The more people who like it, the more people who see it. It's just how it works. I didn't make that rule, so if you like it, please do. And if you want more of me, hit that subscribe button, because I'm not stopping anytime soon, and I'm really good at what I do. And you know, check out my stuff. I've been reading cards since I am 12 years old. I'm 52. And I know I don't look it, but you're gonna have to wait for my books to come out, more of my books to come out, to figure out how that happened. And please feel free to comment and share and all that, all the YouTube-y stuff, right? Help a brother out. Help Venus in Libra sign out, my darlings. Otherwise, let's get up into this gig. We are looking at a What Do I Need read, a 7-card draw. One card from 7 different decks of cards. All the decks that I read are always in the bottom of the description box. Give credit where credit is due. Just to get clues, tips, and hints about what you need from the pantheons of the divine, in which I am intimately interwoven. From this full moon in Gemini on November 30th, last day of the month, to the new moon in Sagittarius. But the thing about new moon in Sagittarius, first of all, it's a new moon on Monday. Wake Simon Laban up. But the other is it goes new at 11:17 a.m. Eastern. I'm in New York. And goes void, of course, the exact same moment. So there is like zero new moon magic, at least if you want to do it in Sagittarius. If you wait till 10:35 p.m., you'll be able to do it in Capricorn. And if we do something, we would probably do something. I don't know if I want to do it that late on YouTube Eastern, but we'll see. We'll see. We're probably going to do something for the full moon. Well, I'm doing this on Saturday, so tomorrow night. So depending on when you watch this, right? Okie dokie. I guess that's about it. It's a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You've watched other YouTube videos before. You know we have to say that. Otherwise, you know, the YouTube Tarot Squad comes and gives us demerits or takes away house points. And I'm Ravenclaw. That's not allowed. You get what I'm saying? So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And let's get up in this game. Breathe. Yes, my Libras, my brother, sister, scales. Oh my goodness gracious, what a year it has been. So let's ask the collective pantheons using the Caroline Mace archetype deck. What is the dominant archetypal pattern that you are alchemizing from lead to gold, from fear to love, from shadow to light? This, and it is a waning moon, from this full moon to new moon next. Lead has 3 more atoms than gold, so think of that as part of the waning process, like burning off, transforming 3 of those atoms, because lead is an insulator, energy can't get in, but gold is a conductor, and a very high conductor. That's why our cell phones are probably so expensive, right? And our electronics, gold tip conductors. Shall we take a nice deep breath? One more. Because this feels good. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please. I need 1 card in clarity for the entire Libra collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs who will be watching this video, maybe myself included. What is the dominant archetype we most need to alchemize, to heal, to transform from lead to gold within ourselves? Maybe it's in somebody else that we're dealing with, that they're catalyzing our growth. Maybe it's a situation that we find ourselves in. It can be all of those things holographically. So for the Libra collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs from this full moon in Gemini, woo, to new moon next in Sagittarius, that card almost whole deck almost flew out my hand. What is the dominant archetype we need to work with? And that is the wounded child archetype. Are we shocked? No, not in 2020. Look, let's talk the child archetype for a moment. By the way, read. And there's our first glitch of the day. You gotta take it as it comes, don't you? As far as Carolyn Mace goes, her archetype deck, read Sacred Contract by Carolyn Mace. The child archetype everybody has because everybody was a child. It's one of the 4 survival archetypes. It's like the trunk of the tree, and then all the other archetypes you want to deal with or don't want to deal with are their health depends upon, just like a tree, the health of the trunk of the tree. So the child, the victim, the savage, or the prostitute, everybody has those 4. It's not what you think the prostitute so much. Really, it's not. But the child is the archetypal guardian of how we learned how to survive in innocence and safety, and who gets their innocence all the way through childhood, right? What kind of fucking bubble are you living in? Right? Who got that? Who got that insulated bubble wrap? Well, I actually know some younger people who might have experienced that, but you know, it's sort of like then your immune system doesn't develop energetically, right? And it's all scripted. Let me read you the shadow and the light here. The shadow attribute, and this may resonate. And glitch number 2. This may resonate for you, but this might be someone that you are dealing with and you would be dealing with it in a waning moon. The shadow attribute blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds. Now, pause there for a second. Sure. The wounding that we had in childhood, figure out from birth to 18 years old, if we consider that a child legally, yeah, sure, we can blame all sorts of things on that, but blame projects the power beyond we can do anything about it, like a child will. Resist moving on through forgiveness. There's the shadow, doesn't want to forgive. Now look, inner child work is it's a huge part of my spiritual process and practice. I can't stay clear and clean to do these readings without it, right? I don't feel safe to do it, particularly with the empathic surge of 2020. I mean, it wasn't like there weren't empathic surges before. Of course there were. But as an empath, I know I got to protect that child, not by not letting it feel those feelings, but by allowing it to be where it is and giving it the love that only I can, which brings us to the light attribute, awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opens the learning path of forgiveness. And here's the thing about that. I am a student and teacher of A Course in Miracles. If you go on Vimeo, you'll actually see lots of classes that I do, A Course in Miracles for pagans, essentially, because the language that's used is decidedly Judeo-Christian, but it is not in and of itself a Judeo-Christian text, right? It's not religious, it's spiritual, psychological system of healing, right? 365 lessons and all that, A Course in Miracles. Well, that's the thing. It says that all lessons, all of our spiritual lessons are essentially based in forgiveness because we've forgotten who we are. If we remember who we are, that we're not really these human bodies, that we are the spirits, the souls that were chosen to incarnate, then we can open the path of forgiveness, right? This power within us, this sweet, innocent child that's wounded, that wants to heal and wants to help others heal too, right? That's very soulmate, the soulmate contract, helping each other heal regardless of the form of the relationship takes, opens the learning path of forgiveness. So, I mean, that's absolutely necessary for waning moon or dark moon or this part of the year, right? Between Halloween and Christmas. I hate saying it that way. It's between Samhain and Yule, winter solstice, but let's keep going. Healing with the Angels Oracle, Doreen Virtue. Yeah, by the way, we're doing 3 healing systems, 2 tarot decks, and 2 oracles. We've got one of the healing systems, Carolyn Mace. Here comes our first of the 2 oracles. Take a nice deep breath. As I call upon my angels and archangels of air, my Raphaelites, please, my beloved angels of air. We've got a wounded child archetype on the table, and regardless of whether the Libras are dealing that within themselves, which why not? I mean, if everybody's got the child archetype, not everybody has the wounded child archetype. Certainly, maybe they do, maybe they don't, right? But this could be them. This could be someone they're dealing with. This could be a whole situation like dealing with, I don't know, saving the children. It's not unheard of on planet Earth, right? Charity and stuff, outreach, work, volunteering, that kind of stuff. Please, so many wounded children. I just can't even go there politically right now. So please, what is the healing angel they most need to call upon this full moon in Gemini to new moon next in Sagittarius. Ideas and inspiration. See, that's what that child, when it's happy, right? When it's maybe not completely unwounded or healed, but in process, right? Ideas and inspiration. Because if the child is wounded, it's just going to reject anything that is even slightly uncomfortable, let alone something that might call it forth on a journey of adventure, right? If it doesn't feel safe. This is how my guides explained the child archetype, regardless of its sub-archetype. The nature child, the wounded child, the divine child, doesn't matter, the magical child, the orphan. That if a child feels safe, it can go anywhere. It's got fresh eyes, right? It's open. It has no previous psychic weight, if you like. So it doesn't want to wait, W-A-I-D, because it doesn't have any W-E-I-G-H-T. But if that child doesn't feel safe, you take it to Disneyland, Disney World, its favorite place in the world, it will cower and hide behind a parent and not want to go at all, right? So does that child in you feel safe? Well, call to the angel of ideas and inspiration in order to see things differently. And that is very A Course in Miracles, because A Course in Miracles says truly the prayer for a miracle is, well, dear God, pick your variable of the divine, your lens, help me see this differently, right? And if you are dealing with somebody who's acting childish, they're wounded. See it, right? Allow that idea to permeate. And if you're acting childish, because who doesn't every now and again, particularly around the holidays, right? It's supposed to speak to that magical child within us. And if that child is wounded, it doesn't want to play, or the magic it wants to do is really destructive. And we have glitch number 3, which is fine. I'm on the 3rd deck. Do you think we'll get 7 glitches altogether? Let's find out. Take a nice deep breath. We're going to talk to the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, the goddesses. Speak to me, the divine feminine, half the universal energy, the yin force, if you like. So let's find out what's going on inside of you, right? This will really indicate whether or not you are dealing with this wounded child, and if so, how. Like within yourself. Breathe. My goddesses of Libra and the sign of air, Aphrodite in particular, please, one card in clarity for the Libra collective sun, moon, rising, Venus signs from this full moon in Gemini to new moon next in Sagittarius. What's going on inside of them, right? The psychological world, the heart, the throat, the third eye, the crown kind of stuff, with that wounded child coming from all pantheons, and the angels, the healing angel, which, what would it do? The healing angel of ideas and inspiration. It would give you ideas and inspiration to help you and or someone else or something else heal. So please, my goddesses, what is it they need to be aware of inside of themselves? I gotcha. This full moon to new moon next. Okay. Well, 9 of Wands, the wanderer. So of course it can be that wandering child within you, but it also does speak of defense, right? That 9 of Wands, the Rider-Waite Tarot, but also perhaps conserving your energy to make it over that last horizon, right? You can't really tell if the sun is rising or setting there. So this is a woman who has really gathered up all that, she's experienced. Her desires are on the way, but she just needs to make it over that last bit to get to the 10 of flames, the 10 of wands. Then in this deck, the 10 of flames is the hora. It's a dance of celebration and rite of passage. It's not that overburdened vibe. So I would say, if this is you dealing with your own, healing and ideas and inspiration as a result, that you might be a little defensive, and not such a bad idea. Remember, the child is the archetypal guardian of safety, right? So the more that you can actually protect that child in your heart without being defensive. There's a difference between protection and defense. I know the words are convoluted, like even with, vitamins and antioxidants. It's like protect your immune system, defend, it's like, not exactly that, right? Because this is a warm energy. This is, it's all right, honey, I got you. Whatever happens, I'm here. You just rest. We'll get there. We'll make it. We'll get to our new day. We'll get there. We'll get to our rebirth. Let's keep going. What's this look like on the outside? Let's ask the gods. Mythic Tarot. The Yang Force. It sounds so Voltron now that it comes out of my mouth. Breathe. Oh yes, my gods of air in the sign of Libra, the divine masculines, Eros in particular, who shares the throne with his mother Aphrodite for me. And the throne of Libra, please, one card in clarity. What does this look like on the outside for my Libra collective? Sun, moon, rising, Venus signs. Is this about me? It totally could be. It's generic and general enough at this point that I could see myself in this. So please, one card in clarity for the Libra collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs from this full moon in Gemini to new moon next in Sagittarius. What is it what do they need to be aware of outside of themselves? What does this look like on the outside that they need to kind of be aware of this full moon to new moon next? Oh shit, the devil. Now look, I will say this, the devil card in this deck is a little bit tricky for me because it's Pan. Where is he? There he is. Oh, I don't know if you can see him, a teeny statue there. Pan is one of the gods in my pantheon. I love him. He's wonderful, horny little goat god. So this Greek mythic deck, right, doesn't necessarily go there and relate it to Satan, right? Doesn't, right? It's saying that this is the more animalistic side of our being. Yes, of course, our base goals and motives, but also can certainly speak about being in chains. There they are, the usual. They got horns on their head. They're a bunch of fawn. They're just fawning all over each other. Yeah, so this does make sense that there may really be some attachments, some chains, some fears in the way. I mean, remember, you're dealing with the wounded child archetype, but because this is external, if this wounded child is somebody else, then you are dealing with somebody who is in chains of pain, chains of fear, chains of not feeling safe. Why else, right, would they be kind of protective? Now, protective, they're giving me another word for this, apprehensive, suspicious. Of course, a miracle says the ego is suspicious at best and vicious at worst. Not that that voice shouldn't be heard. Sometimes it really is an intuitive voice. It's hard to tell, right? Is this fear that I'm feeling? Is this intuition? Well, Matt Kahn, bless his soul, he's the last card down in this read. Says that fear really is an intuitive sense that change is coming and there is potential for loss. And that's what the child is really afraid of. Not so much the change, but the loss. Right? So hence that holding on, those chains, those attachments. All right, let's see. Let's keep going. We're going to ask the Ascended Masters, right, those who have graduated planet Earth and reach back through the dimensional overtones of time and space to help us do what's already been done, which is the paradox of the whole thing. But, you know, it's a game. Play to win. Breathe. My Ascended Masters, please, with the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, one card in clarity for the Libra Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs for this. What do they need for this full moon in Gemini and new moon next in Sagittarius? The piece of luck they need to be aware of, or the piece of healing that they need to accept and implement, or the piece of grace that's permeating this whole situation that they need to acknowledge and flow with, or the problem that they need to be aware of and address for the well-being of all. This full moon to new moon next November, December 2020 with the wounded child, ideas and inspiration, the wanderer, 9 of flames on the inside, the devil on the outside. What's do they need to be aware of? They need to be aware of the problem of specialness. Now, let me put this down for a second, because specialness, again, in a Course in Miracles sense, is not the usual interpretation. Special means separate. Special means what I am going through, no one else has ever gone through, even though that's obviously not true. Special relationships, special love and special hate relationships. Right? The special love, oh, my children, I love them more than everybody else. You see the separation? Oh, special hate relationships, I hate them more than everybody else, right? And the truth is we are all one. So this could be a child that says no one has ever experienced the wounds that I have, right? I am special because of my wounds. That's when a child, and we're talking little child here as an example, will use their pain to manipulate people. It's a natural survival instinct. We all have that archetype within us, right? So to look in the mirror and say, okay, then if I'm not special, what am I? Holy. Holy. That's why any relationship given to your higher power, Holy Spirit, God, Goddess, Zeus, Buddha, Jesus, Sam, Jane, Fred, woman, whoever you pray to, I surrender this relationship to you. May it serve its purpose, which is to help me heal, which is to teach me to heal, which is to be a blessing upon this earth in some way, shape, or form that I cannot even comprehend. That surrender the purposes of this relationship to you. May it serve the well-being of all. And then whatever happens, happens, right? But it's not separate. Your relationships to yourself, to your parents, to that inner child, it's all interwoven in the quantum fabric of this holographic world called planet Earth. Now, you don't want to believe my language, go do the research, do some quantum stuff, right? Do some quantum physics research, really get what fifth dimensional unity consciousness is. It's not just about, oh, let the sun shine in, Age of Aquarius, although kick-ass song, granted. But that you see, you are conscious of the unity of all things. So therefore there is no separate, therefore there is no special, but we are each a unique manifestation of the divine in our holiness, right? So it's not like we're going to heal and then we're just going to be this pseudopods on this greater spiritual unity amoeba. It doesn't work like that, from what I understand. You keep levels of personality as you evolve, but those personalities are refined as you evolve, right? Yeah. It's like an actor. The more they do it, the better they get, right? It's why we keep coming back. All the world is, after all, a stage. All right, so we've got 2 healing systems on the table, 2 tarot on the table, and 1 oracle. Let's get our second oracle here, the Whispers of Love Oracle, the voices of the higher selves, 5th dimensional and above. Breathe. All right. Higher selves of all involved, perhaps my own included. I mean, none of this is necessarily shocking if it's mine. I mean, it's stuff I feel like I've dealt with before. I mean, I've been doing inner child work since I was a child, essentially. Well, 17, 18 years old. So please, the higher selves of all involved. 1 card in clarity for this Libra collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. What is the piece of information, inspiration, or insight through the Whispers of Love Oracle that we most need to be aware of this full moon in Gemini, new moon next in Sagittarius, November, December 2020? Practice compassion. See things from a different perspective. The real prayer for miracles, help me see this differently. So of course there's a compassion piece here. When you see a literal wounded child, let's take it out of the human variety. When you see a literal wounded puppy, like a sick puppy, a hurt kitten, right? Right? You can't help it because they can't talk back. Well, mine do. But do you know what I'm saying? This child inside of you needs compassion if this is you. You need to look at it differently. You need to see the pain that you may very well be going through here. Now, by the way, the ideas and inspiration are just that. The inspiration is going to help you see things from what? The point of view of spirit, in spirit action, inspiration, right? So to practice compassion, it doesn't matter if it starts with you. It really ought to start with you. To me, compassion is as simple as, oh, honey, it's okay. It's okay to think that. It's okay to feel that. We're just not going to act on that because that wouldn't be compassionate to us. Yeah, it might feel good in the second. All right, it might feel good in the moment. Send that text, whatever it is. Libras, right? Air signs. It's okay. It's okay. We'll get through this. I love you. Like even something as simple like that can really raise your vibration. I mean, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Sometimes it takes you deeper into the wound if this is yours. By the way, if you're an empath in any way, shape, or form, you're feeling other people's wounded child. The whole planet's wounded child doesn't feel safe, and it feels like somebody did something to us, doesn't it? Not going there. You're so not going there on YouTube. Is that 4 glitches now? I think I might have lost count. Last card down. Let's see if we can get it on the table for glitches again. Breathe. I guess not. There. Let's see if this will keep going so I can get this last card down. Quick, breathe. My Ascended Masters, please. The Matt Kahn Healing Mantra deck, last card down, right? The third of the 3 healing systems, please. 1 card in clarity for the Libra Collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs from this full moon in Gemini to new moon next in Sagittarius. Please, what is the perfect healing mantra for us? We got the wounded child, all pantheon, saying that. The angels are saying we need to call it away. So we need to alchemize the wounded child. We need to call upon, invoke, work with the angel of ideas and inspiration. We need to be aware of that we are perhaps a little defensive on the inside, but that might not be a bad thing with the devil on the outside in terms of dealing with our own fears. It's a natural response, right? That we need to address the problem of our own specialness or the specialness of someone else, right? Particularly if a child is wounded, a child is in pain, that special vibe is going to come up, right? It's going to be like, my problems are more important than anybody else's because the nervous system is inflamed, right? So that we need to practice compassion, see things from a different perspective, perhaps from the perspective of the higher self, perhaps from the perspective of the truth of who we are. So what is the perfect healing mantra for us this full moon to new moon next, November, December? Sharing shame. When I share my deepest pain, I give myself permission to be. I mean, this is a big deal. Now, by the way, you don't have to do this audibly. I mean, this is what therapy is about to an extent. But I talk with people every day, and they share their shame. They share their pain with me, right? Friends, clients, some pro bono, some for free, and other just people in my life that I'm like, I am always here for you. And of course, I have that value with them as well. I am allowed to share my shame with them. When I share my deepest pain, I give myself permission to be. When shame is shared, cycles of victimhood are permitted to heal as you find the courage to speak your truth. Since abuse and neglect can only be perpetuated in silence, it is your willingness to step forward and share your life's story that helps transform each wound and inspire others to be set free. This is very wounded child archetype. Once in the light, once your shame is shared, you are able to honor yourself with the heightened encouragement, worthiness, and validation that you deserve to receive. Oh, sound like compassion much? This mantra is ideal for revisiting past traumas because you're going to anyway. Did I mention it's the holidays, right? Expressing your inner child and finding self-acceptance. You couldn't ask for a more bullet-pointed puzzle piece all on the table reading. So let me give you the blessing before this fucker glitches again. Breathe. May the Libra Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need this full moon in Gemini to new moon next in Sagittarius, that they may practice the compassion that they need to soften while they protect themselves with the wanderer finding their way and guarding their heart, calling upon the angel of ideas and inspiration for the ideas and inspiration that they need to heal, dealing with their own specialness or the specialness of somebody else, certainly, while needing in some way to share shame. When they share their deepest pain, they give themselves permission to be, regardless of what the fears are, regardless of what's going on in the outside world, the chains of pain that keep them stuck in the lead of the wounded child, refusing to take the learning path of forgiveness, rather to open it through the alchemization of giving themselves the love, the compassion, the time, the space, the breath, the rest, the love that only they can give themselves for their well-being, and through quantum unity, the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is. Oh my goodness, thank you, my Libras. Please, if this clicked for you, please hit the like button. I'm not begging, I'm just saying that's how people get to see your work. The more thumbs up you get, the more people get to see it. So share this. This is kind of like one of those reads. It's like, yeah, people do need to get that message, whether they're cross-watching or not. Otherwise, you know, if you don't have to do all the YouTube things, I'd appreciate, but wishing you the very best and the very blessed of this full moon to new moon next. This looks like this could be really incredibly transformative and healing and loving for the Libras, and we are, after all, ruled by VIMEO.